Good morning! It's soup day. I thought it would be really fun to share with all the mommies and daddies how we make soup in kindergarten. I even have a helper. Iris is here with me today. So, one of the first things that we're going to do is, you can see I have all of my things set up for chopping vegetables. Today we're going to be making a vegetable soup. And so we have our vegetables that we've already washed. Washing vegetables is also a really good job for children, giving them a nice scrub-a-dub-dub. And when they're all done, then we're ready to peel them. So Iris and I each have a cutting board. I have a chicken cutting board, and Iris has a cutting board that was made by her Uncle Dale. And then we each have a vegetable peeler. So I'm going to give Iris a carrot, and all of your children are really good at peeling vegetables. They've had a lot of experience. And so we have a scrapey bowl that collects our peels. And you can probably already tell that peeling carrots is a little bit easier than this big old sweet potato. So if you have a little one, 3 or 4, carrots are a good place to start. We've peeled all of our carrots, and Iris is going to keep working on her potato while I get the onion and the garlic ready. So over here on my cutting board, I have 1 onion, a yellow onion, and some garlic, and I'm going to start to warm up the oil in my pot. And in our kindergarten classroom, we make this kindergarten soup vegan, just using olive oil, but you can also use butter if you like. I do like butter a lot, and so today I am going to pour a little bit of olive oil into the pot. It's about 1/8 of a cup. I'm making a smaller batch of soup than what I would make in our kindergarten classroom. And I am going to add a little bit of butter to my pot. About a tablespoon. And we cut our onion and garlic away from the children because, as many of you have probably experienced before, onions have a tendency to make us cry. So I peel off the outside of my onion. We're going to take this onion's jacket off too. How are you doing with that potato over there, Iris? Good. Wonderful. I will be back in just a minute to help you with the rest of the peeling. All right, now I'm going to put my onion in the pot. You can hear it sizzle. Do I have to stop what I'm doing? Okay. take the jacket off of all of our garlic. And I give it just a rough little chop. And our garlic goes in the pot. And then I'm going to give it a little stir. And let that garlic and onion simmer while I finish helping my sweet little Iris over here peel and chop the vegetables. You know, and smell is such a powerful, it has such a powerful connection to our memory. And when I smell these onions and garlic cooking, it immediately reminds me of cooking soup in our kindergarten classroom. Okay, so I've moved on to peeling the sweet potato. And like I was saying earlier, they're a bit more challenging. So this is a really good one for our big 5- and 6-year-olds to peel. Look how pretty this sweet potato is when you take off his jacket. Isn't he pretty? I like that color. For this pot of soup, I used 3 carrots, 3 potatoes, about medium size, and 1 lumpy, bumpy sweet potato. Can you hear our onions sizzling? Now I'll put these back over here.
You don't have all those exact ingredients.
You can make our kindergarten soup using so many different types of vegetables. In September, when we come back to school, and everyone's gardens are still filled with lots of vegetables, we put green beans in the soup. We chop up kale into really small pieces and we put that in the soup. And in our garden, behind the school, we had little tomatoes and we collected those and we put them in the soup. So you can really use any type of vegetable that you might have in your refrigerator. Now we're going to do the chopping, and I'm going to use my mommy teacher knife. And Iris is going to use, you can use a butter knife. Iris likes to use this fun little chopper when we're chopping at home. So we're going to start with the carrots. And so I just chop off the little ends. And then I'm going to make carrot sticks. And I'm going to give Iris a carrot stick, and she is going to chop it up in little pieces for us and then put it into our chop bowl. I'm just going to give her a couple at a time. I want her to take her time and just chop one little carrot stick at a time. Chop, chop, chippity chop, cut off the bottom and cut off the top. Whatever is left will go in the pot. Chop, chop, chippity chop. Cut off the bottom and cut off the top. Whatever is left will go in the pot. Thank you, Chopper. I'm going to turn that down just a little bit. For the potatoes, I do the same thing. I cut the potatoes up in slices and then into sticks. Are you ready for more? Do you like doing the carrots? Now, our sweet potato is a little bit harder to cut. Here are a few sweet potato pieces for you.
It looks like a heart.
Oh, it does look like a heart.
I'm gonna keep it like that.
Okay.
It's getting really full, Mama.
It is getting very full. I am going to empty our chopped vegetables into the bowl so that we have more space, okay? I'm going to give it a little bit of a stir. Now in the classroom, I just use water, but you are welcome to, other options would be, I have a homemade chicken stock and I'm going to add that. If you have any other type of stock already in your home or bouillon, I have this chicken broth, that can also be used. The other ingredient that goes into our broth is a can of tomato paste. And I'm actually just going to use half a can for this small batch. I use a whole can when we make our big pot of soup at school. Some salt And for this pot of soup, might be 1 to 2 teaspoons. Salt it to taste. And Italian seasoning. I don't have any Italian seasoning here at my house, but I did have some dried basil, some oregano, and some rosemary that we had picked from our garden last year and dried. But you can also find, if you don't have a jar of Italian seasoning, you can also find lots of recipes online on how to make your own Italian seasoning. And so I'm going to sprinkle some of that in. And back to the stock for a minute. If you're making a vegetarian or vegan version of your soup, which is what we eat at school, water is fine. If you'd like it to be a bit more savory, you can make your own vegetable stock. And I have found that taking vegetables, chopping them up, giving them a toss in some olive oil and roasting them in the oven until they're nice and soft, and then boiling them in a pot with some water makes a really nice homemade vegetable stock. So now that all of my ingredients are together in the pot, I am going to let this simmer. And we'll have to come back. Okay, our soup has been simmering for quite a while. 45 minutes to about an hour our soup simmered for on the stove. And now nice and steamy, we are going to serve it in a bowl to our little soup helper back here, who is very excitedly waiting. Iris, do you like a lot of vegetables or a lot of broth?
A lot of broth.
A lot of broth. And that's how you make kindergarten soup.